Hello, everybody, and welcome to our PHLY Emergency Podcast live from the Xfinity Studio and presented by Bet365 and Ashley. Wulf, joined on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line by Fran Duffy as Howie Roseman. Eagles are on a bye. The trade deadline is approaching. You know he's eager, and he has tapped into the NFL's market of hot online slots. That's right, Michael Carter II. From the New York Jets. The Eagles are trading a 6th-round pick and John Metchie to acquire Michael Carter and a 7th-round pick. Fran, what was your initial reaction?
Well, my initial reaction was, Darius Cooper, more of a path for him to be able to get a little bit more extra playing time. So congratulations there. But a shot across the bow for another former Duke corner, Brandon Johnson. I mean, they're clearly they just don't have the faith in him.
He's very nicely already set up to be the long-term answer here. Michael Carter II is on the final year of his rookie deal. I think this is a clear succession plan that has been created.
Well, look, Carter is a guy that's got a lot of pelts on the wall. He's played a lot of football in the NFL. Was a 4th-round pick a few years back in 2021, and while the starting time and the amount of the effective football we've seen from him, it's been a couple years since we've seen him in like that early high level of play, playing for Robert Saleh, as a young player. But still, this is a guy that has talent.
Okay, let's get into the player first, and then let's get into what we think it means for this Eagles defense, because I know that this trade happened like 15 minutes ago, and in that time you have watched every one of his targets from the past two seasons, all of the breakups that he had in the 2 years before that. What have you learned about Michael Carter, who is, let's be clear, a slot corner and not someone who will be here to compete on the outside?
Yeah, to me, this is a really feisty, competitive corner. This is a guy that's one of those pesky play personalities. To me, if you're looking at his peak, like the best version of Michael Carter, you think of like the best version of Avonte Maddox, right?
Okay.
I think that's kind of what you're looking at there. I think he's probably a little bit bigger. I got to look at the official measurements from the combine back in 2021, but
listed
a
at
little bit
5'10",
bigger.
184, just for the record.
Okay, so similar kind of body type. That's why he's been kind of pigeonholed as a slot only player. As I mentioned, when he first got drafted, he got thrown right into the fire and was an early starter for that defense. The playing time is kind of tapered off in the last couple of years. Obviously, things kind of went south for them last year. They fire Robert Saleh early on, and they promote Jeff Ulbrich to head coach, and so there was a little bit of defensive upheaval. That unit really fell off in the second half of the year, and then this year it's a new defensive scheme entirely. And so I do think that that's a reason why they were willing to move on from Michael Carter. I'm going to be honest. I got a little bit more juice for this one than I did when they traded for Jacorian Bennett, right? Like I think that there's a little bit more proven, like capable starting level of play. Now, is it enough to say like, all right, I want to insert him here and move Cooper DeJean outside? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but he's a competitive player. He's good. The ball production has not been great. That was one of the things where I was like, I'm like, all right, he had one PBU last year. He's had none so far this year. He hasn't had a pick going back to 2023. I think was the last time he got his hands on a football and secured an interception. So, the ball production has not been there, but I think when you're looking at his route anticipation, the competitiveness does show up. He'll come down and defend the run. I thought he showed a little bit more of a feel in zone as opposed to man, but he can do a little bit of both. He's played primarily man coverage this year. So a solid player. But again, I don't know that it's like a huge upgrade, but this is a guy that can compete.
29 and 1/8 inch arms, which speaks to maybe the lack of ball production there. But did you see the requisite physicality for someone who would have to be playing inside in Vic Fangio's defense and what he wants there?
Definitely. Now I think that obviously he's not as big as Cooper DeJean, right? So like they may not be as willing to match against 12 personnel in their nickel defense, but if they're going to try and match that more often with their base defense because they want to get Nakobe Dean and Jahad Campbell on the field together, and you feel all right, we're going to be leaning more into base anyway, then that could be more of a reason to lean into a move like this as well.
Okay, so let's talk about the big picture here because this gives them optionality, right? I'm guessing that is the goal here because obviously they want to address the secondary in some form or fashion. And for the reasons we talked about, I mean, I asked Mina Kimes about it on the show today, the possibility of trading for literally Michael Carter II, because
Huge flex.
the idea, I think we deserve to flex on that.
No, absolutely. Great call. Yes, absolutely.
Easier to acquire a nickel corner than a starting outside corner. And so if you think that at some point you are not going to be able to trust Keely Ringo on the outside or Adoree Jackson or Jacorian Bennett, who you continue to throw under the bus every time we get a chance to talk about anything related to this Eagles team, maybe you do think that you're better suited taking a step back inside and letting Cooper DeJean be on the outside in nickel. Do you think that this foreshadows that?
Yeah, I think that it probably sets up for a move like that. Now, I'll be interested to see if there is a corresponding move, in the secondary. We know that they sent Parry Nickerson down to the practice squad earlier on this week. I think that was a precursor, certainly, to this kind of move. But what does this mean for Adoree Jackson's return? I think it'll be interesting to see if they're done at that spot or if there's something else, another domino that has yet to fall.
Yeah, I think my guess. I would be surprised if they're making this move and hot-shotting him into the starting lineup starting in Green Bay, right? And they're gonna spend the bye week rejiggering the secondary and just moving Cooper DeJean to the outside and nickel full time. To me, it's more like optionality, and it is a very meager cost to just upgrade the Parry Nickerson spot. Is that how you see it?
Potentially, but I mean, they're only playing dime. Like they play dime, like a couple snaps a game. So like I don't know that it's even worth the marginal pick swap that you made to just improve on those couple snaps. I think that what we could see happen, and we know that this isn't the way. I mean, look, this is not the way that Vic Fangio played last year. Last year they basically played the same 11 guys, no matter the offensive formation and personnel grouping. They were like, yeah, this is the way that we are going to match up. I think the big thing right now is that there is a possibility that they could now move forward. And let's say they want to play with a regular nickel where it's like, all right, Michael Carter's in the slot and Cooper DeJean's outside. And then you have your big nickel where DeJean slides in. And then you've got either Keely or Adoree on the outside. And then you've got your base defense and you've got your dime. We saw them do this in 2023. They had all those different personnel packages back there and they were just trying to Frankenstein it. It's possible that they try and go down a path that way. Or maybe Michael Carter is the full-time nickel. That could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we learned from Vic last year, I thought, was that he wanted to do that less and just sort of have his core guys. But maybe that's you can only do so much with what you have. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how this all plays out from a what was he asked to do perspective and changing schemes and having to get thrown into the mix halfway through. I feel like nickel is a pretty difficult position to do that at.
Yeah.
But in terms, what was he asked to do? What would he have been asked to do in the Aaron Glenn defense and the Jeff Ulbrich defense?
Yeah, with the Aaron Glenn defense, honestly, and again, all I did was buzz through the targets where he was the closest defender in coverage, right? So, it wasn't like I was watching full games in the last half hour. But I think the big thing was a lot of man coverage, and that's to be expected. Aaron Glenn coming from Detroit, they played a lot of man, a very aggressive press, up in your face, man-to-man coverage scheme. When you look back to Robert Saleh, they have been traditionally more zone, more cover three. They'll play man in spots, but it's been a little bit more zone heavy. So he's got experience playing in a zone heavy scheme, but the nomenclature, the verbiage, all of that stuff is going to be different. So he's going to have 2 weeks now to kind of get up to scheme. I agree with you that it's probably unlikely that they're going to just kind of shoehorn him in as the full-time guy right away. But could they be working their way towards that by the time they get to, week 12, week 13? I wouldn't say that that's completely off the table either.
Make sure that you check out the Die Hard sale on allphly.com. We got the Brandon Graham special, 55% off to become a PHLY Die Hard member. You get access to all the stories written about the just exciting ascending Sixers and Flyers by Charlie O'Connor and Kyle Neubeck and Derek Bodner. You get EJ Smith, Les Bowen, and Fran Duffy writing about the Eagles, all that good stuff. Check it out on allphly.com. Let's talk about the other part here, Fran, which is, I mean, John Metchie was not playing a lot for this Eagles offense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you take like an inch of it to read, okay, maybe A.J. Brown's not going anywhere because they're willing to trade a wide receiver?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this was more the, honestly, we talked about this on Monday with talking about Darius Cooper. It was like, oh, like, hey, it used to be that John Metchie was like that dirty work receiver and was like, being asked to come in and block safeties. And they were willing to plug Cooper into that role right away as he was taken off injured reserve. So I guess that was probably more the precursor to this move than anything else.
All right, I'm going to call Vinnie Curry because he played with Michael Carter Jr.
Teammate,
So,
nice.
Let's see if Vinny will answer the phone.
Man, there's so many possibilities for how this could go.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'll tell him right away we're live. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. I'm wondering. So with EJ Smith being in Paris, with EJ being in Paris, like, is it Michael Carter? Duh for him. Like, is the pronunciation right?
Vinny, we're live on the show right now. Tell us what you played with Michael Carter the second in New York. What are the Eagles getting?
Yo, straight dog. Somebody that's gonna leave it all out there. Somebody that's gonna play hard, that understand the game. IQ is off the charts at that position. The last year I was with them, he was like rated like one of the highest nickels in the game, and he could play outside. He can go, man. The dude's a baller, bro, and I'm so excited. You know how I can get overly excited.
I like this. We're filling up the roster of Vinnie Curry guys. You feel like he could come in and play right away inside?
He definitely could come in and play right away, help out. And like he's good for the locker room. You know that. I mean, that locker room is a special locker room. You got to be he's a special kind of person to be up in there, man. His personality fit right along with the guys.
Is he like a talkative Slay type guy, or more of a reserved, like, James Bradbury type personality?
Oh, no. He definitely competes, so it's 50-50. All that depends on how you ball and what side of the bed you wake up on.
Ooh, I like that. All right, Vinny. Amazing. We answered the call. We love that. All right, thank you so much, Vinnie Curry. We will we'll talk to you soon. See you on the postgame show. Unbelievable.
Outstanding. I mean, come on, give it up.
Give it up. All right. Any final thoughts here, Fran? Do you think Howie's done?
I wouldn't say that he's ever done. He would say that adding, fixing the roster is a 365-day a year process.
Yeah. Do you think this is our last emergency pod?
If I had to do turkeys, I would say 55. Yeah, we'll go 60 that we're not done. We got another emergency pod in us in the next 7 to 6 days. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's right. I might even go just a tick higher. I would say I'd say 70 turkeys that we're gonna do another emergency pod.
So that would be for a pass rusher, because you can't imagine they're going to add another corner, right?
I mean, they could. I guess that's possible.
I guess they could.
It could be Jack Stoll.
Okay. I really do think they're probably done at tight end because of the Fred Johnson stuff, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I guess that's. I mean, unless it's an outgoing situation.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't need to get into that here.
Okay. All right. Great stuff.
Is David Baker still there?
You know what? I think I just missed him. I saw him come. They said that he broke the elevator. Obviously, big guy. So I was waiting.
It just got fixed.
I was waiting for the elevator to come down, and then all of a sudden the thing goes, and apparently it turns out he was just fee-fi-fo-fumming his way, and it broke. It was too much on the weight. So
just an unbelievable show.
It's crazy. He ate Andrew.
Oh no! We're down. We just got a producer back. Now we're down again.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Well, it was fun listening to ZB and DB today at 2:00. So if anyone that's watching this, if they have not gone and watched that podcast, make sure they go back and relive that great experience.
Love that guy. All right. Thank you, Fran. Go back to your den. We will pull you out if we need you. Otherwise, you're going to be on the show on Friday with the professor. Look forward to that. Otherwise, we've got you covered anytime something happens here on PHLY. Thanks to Lindsay for making it happen. Her first emergency pod. What a day.
That's right.
For all of us here at PHLY, thanks for listening. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2:00. And as always, we love you.
Y'all silly like the mayor.
You can say hi to Bo now once it comes back up. You got chocolate all over your face.